let's use the machine's Keeper Recommendations tool. That can be found under the Pre-Draft tab, Keeper Recommendations. Now, the machine runs a simulated draft of your league so that it can understand which draft picks should be given up for which players for your keepers. This is very important to run, and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to run, somewhere in that range. You click Start Simulated Draft Now, and then your draft will start. Now, the machine has simulated the entire season to give us some really important information. The first thing we have to think about is this league allows for three keeper picks. I have 2 quality keepers. That's important to know because that means I either have to try to get another keeper, keep someone who isn't ideal, or just use that draft pick. So it's found 3 other teams that it thinks has extra keepers. Now, that doesn't mean these are the only teams I should try to trade with. Some teams aren't going to have the machine, so they're not going to understand, which players are ideal to keep and which players aren't. These are some of the players from those teams that I might possibly try to trade for. And below that, we have my players that the machine thinks I should keep. Now, what all these numbers mean? Well, the player value is that player's impact on my chances to win the championship. The ideal pick to keep, that's the last possible pick that could be used to keep that player. So that's the last pick in the 4th round and the last pick in the 10th round. The ideal keeper value percent, that's the percent difference in a player selected at that position between that player and Dez Bryant, or that player and Andy Dalton. So these guys are a pretty good percent value increase over those draft picks. Now, the best pick to keep, that's my current pick in that round. And the keeper value is the same thing as the ideal keeper pick, but it's using my pick instead of the last pick in that round. Now, why do we do that? Because there's this opportunity to improve here. If we can find a way to give up the 4-10 and the 10-10 pick, we're going to increase our chances to win by this much. So those are some very important things to look at. The machine doesn't just stop with that. It looks at these teams and sees that they have higher draft picks than me in the rounds that I'm selecting Dez Bryant and Andy Dalton in. So it says, hey, maybe you can swing a trade with these teams and get some increased value there. Not only that, it sees teams where, hey, they might be keeping a player in this round. So you have a higher pick in those rounds than they do. Maybe you should trade that pick away and they would get some increased value there. They'd give up your pick instead of their pick. Not only that, it gives us an entire table here of all the players that, hey, we might be able to make good keeper values with. Let's see if maybe we can trade for Alfred Morris. He is probably the best keeper in this league, which makes sense because he was a free agent last year. Tom Brady's a great keeper value. He was selected late last year. So all of this is showing us keeper values and sorting the players by it and showing us maybe what players we can target to improve our teams.